It's not about black and white. It's about that white player and that black player. Why? Because of the history that they had before they came to the WNBA. You see, it was all instigated. If Angel Reese was never in Caitlin Clark's face, taunting her the way that she did when they mimicking what Caitlin Clark was doing to numerous opponents en route to the Final Four. And then Angel Reese and LSU bust their living you-know-what at that particular moment in time. And Angel Reese was in her face chirping at her the way that she did. It would have never gotten to this point. But
Stephen A. Smith just detonated a verbal nuke on Angel Reese, and ESPN might need hazard pay. What sparked it? The Caitlin Clark slur controversy that took a left turn into full-blown cultural warfare. Angel's comments lit the fuse, but Stephen A. lit the fire. He didn't just clap back. He unleashed a monologue so sharp it could cut glass. This wasn't your usual sports hot take. It was a fiery teardown of double standards, media bias, and performative outrage. If the court was hot, the commentary desk just melted. Strap in. This wasn't a response. It was a televised reckoning.
Unfortunately, it comes with the crown.
I got to push back on you a little bit.
Okay.
I think you're being a little bit too PC. Let's call it what it is. I am not trying to say that she should be criticized or she is wrong. What I'm saying is by pulling it down, clearly you felt there was something wrong with it. Now, yes, you are 22. Yes, you are young. And there's a lot of things that we didn't want people to know about when we were her age. Fair enough, especially me, okay? Because I'm 30 plus years removed from that age. I got that part. There was no social media then or whatever. But here's my point to you. She knows this social media. She is not dumb. She's quite a brilliant young lady. Nor am I going to take my eyes off of what transpires with the WNBA over the next 2 weeks while Caitlin Clark is out with the quad strain. And the reason why is because, let me tell you something right now. I'm not going to go to word hate. I'm not going to be out there like RG3 was saying that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark or other players hate Caitlin Clark. But I will say this. I don't think it's specific about Caitlin Clark. I think it's what Caitlin Clark represents.
Stephen A. didn't just criticize Angel Reese. He rolled through like a Category 5 truth storm, dragging her like a suitcase with a busted wheel at JFK. The man came armed with facts, footnotes, and a fury that could fry a satellite. Angel didn't just fumble a quote, she ignited a firestorm, and Stephen brought the gasoline. His face said, "I told you so," but his words said, "This is why the league can't have nice things." It wasn't just commentary. It was a televised takedown with the intensity of a courtroom closing argument and the style of a primetime roast.
This was a basketball play. You understand? It was the heat of the moment. I got it. The fact that the Sky was getting romped by 35 certainly didn't help matters. I get all of that too, okay? But the reality of the situation is clear. I think it was a basketball play. I don't think it's much ado about anything. I think both of you are 100% correct in terms of not only attributing it to competition, but loving the fact that they're being allowed to compete. We should not judge when...
He kicked things off with that signature "let me say this," which in Stephen A. speak basically means buckle up, the sermon is about to start. And oh, did it ever. He laid into the hypocrisy with the force of a freight train, like he was preaching from a pulpit made of hot takes. Angel Reese came in swinging like she was auditioning for a statue in a history museum, but forgot the basics. If you're going to stir the pot, you better bring some flavor. Instead, she tossed out accusations like confetti. Loud, messy, and instantly regrettable. And yeah, it went viral. Just not the kind of viral she had in mind.
Clark to one of the footages they show was Angel Reese getting up and clapping and stuff like that. They keep their eyes on stuff like this. Here's where I'm going where the rivalry kicks in. Angel Reese, the reason why, obviously, the whole Caitlin Clark Angel Reese thing happened was because when they met in the NCAA tournament in 2023, when Angel Reese was doing all of this, because Caitlin Clark had been doing that to her opponents when she got the best of them. So Angel Reese and LSU got the best of her, and that's what she did unapologetically, okay?
Stephen A. dissected every aspect. timing, tone, delivery, and even wondered if Angel Reese had been binge-watching Real Housewives instead of practicing free throws. He was like a precise surgeon, cutting through the drama with sharp accuracy while giving it a roast-like edge. Got a problem with Caitlin Clark, he asked? Then take it to the court, not on a podcast like you're auditioning for Love and Basketball 2 Twitter Wars. The way he emphasized made it sound like a crime scene, highlighting the seriousness of the online clash.
She balled at Iowa in college. She's balled since she's been in the NBA. She came into the league last year with no break whatsoever between the college game and the pro game and did her thing. Ended up as an all-star, ended up being fourth in the league in MVP voting, was the clear winner for Rookie of the Year. No competition whatsoever in that regard. When it was really all said and done, we know what she brings to the table.
And you know, Stephen A., once he catches a whiff of contradiction, he transforms into a verbal bloodhound with a mission. He didn't just critique Angel Reese, he lit up the entire circus of selective outrage like it was a 4th of July grand finale. What started as a player-specific clapback quickly turned into a masterclass in accountability. He called out an entire generation of athletes, fans, and media types who seem more obsessed with social media clout and hashtag activism than actual performance. Stats forgotten, context ignored. Stephen A. came armed with facts, fire, and a flamethrower made of logic.
Jackie Robinson of the WNBA will be Caitlin Clark. If she stays healthy, there's a group of them that would hope for her to be out. But
why do you say she's going to be the Jackie Robinson of the WNBA?
Well,
it's not like she's the first white girl.
She's not the first white girl, but she's the first white superstar at the levels where she's scoring these, the threes she's shooting. She's like a Steph Curry. She's the first actual superstar that people care. When's the last time we watched like college basketball? If I told you, tell me the greatest college basketball female basketball players last 30 years, and you watch I know her. She's our meat, but you look at some of these names, you see some of these people on how they do.
Stephen A. tore into the circus of double standards with surgical precision, dismantling the selective empathy crowd as if they had handed him a PowerPoint presentation of their hypocrisy. While Angel Reese bore the brunt of the criticism, Stephen A. expanded his critique to expose the larger culture of distraction, where identity politics often serve as a convenient cover-up for poor sportsmanship, missed shots, and clout chasing disguised as insightful commentary. Somewhere in a dimly lit studio, it's likely that Skip Bayless was hunched over his desk, scribbling notes like a jealous playwright, murmuring, "This is how you deliver a sermon without a pulpit." Stephen A. had morphed into the loud, commanding voice of basketball morality, slicing through the nonsense with enough volume to rattle fillings and enough drama to merit a daytime Emmy. What made his tirade so compelling was that he didn't merely criticize, he dissected with metaphorical machetes, clearing a path through a jungle of excuses and delusions. His anger was rooted in disappointment, an intensity that, in Stephen A.'s language, borders on exorcism. One moment he's wagging a finger like a disappointed uncle, the next he's orchestrating a verbal takedown that could rival the climax of a courtroom drama. He became the sport's conscience, not just whispering truths, but shouting them with the force of an auctioneer, demanding attention and accountability.
I actually feel bad for Angel Reese at this point, and it has nothing to do with like how she's handled herself or anything. It's just simply Caitlin Clark is so much better than Angel Reese at basketball that it doesn't feel fair.
Yeah, I think Angel Reese is struggling with the fact that Caitlin Clark is better at her best thing than she is.
Well, she's better at everything.
And
she had a triple-double. She's tied for the third most triple-doubles in WNBA history, and she's played 50 games.
Yeah.
She's just better.
By the time he finished, Stephen A. had held up a mirror to the entire sports world, forcing everyone, fans, media, players, to face their own contradictions. No one was spared from his scrutiny. He didn't just drop the mic, he launched it into orbit, daring anyone to try and pick it up without trembling. He had transcended mere basketball analysis, turning his commentary into an exorcism of hypocrisy, armed with a thesaurus and a mind fueled by espresso. You could almost hear ESPN's production team nervously monitoring the broadcast delay button, as if it was a nuclear launch code. But it was too late. The words had already been spoken. Beneath the fury and foot-stomping lay an uncomfortable truth. Stephen A., for all his theatrics, was right. Angel Reese later attempted to clap back on social media, but the meme machine had already spun his rant into countless TikToks, reaction videos, and photoshopped images of him dunking on her from outer space. Reese's image shifted from Bayou Barbie to a cautionary tale about cancel culture in less than a day, illustrating how quickly the digital world can reshape narratives and elevate controversy to new heights.
Can we just call a spade a spade? Racism has been impacting the WNBA well before this year. This is not a new thing. Sure. This is, and in that way, I do think Caitlyn's being used as a pawn. Caitlyn didn't bring racism to the WNBA. This has been happening. And that, I think, is what's been such a shock for all of us, that other people are surprised by this. We've been trying to tell you. And once again, for so long, as a player, I would almost joke. I'd be like, I would have loved to have shut up and dribble.
And the best part? Stephen A. didn't even raise his voice the entire time. That's how you know he was dead serious. When he falls silent, it's like the eye of a hurricane. Calm, laser-focused, and ready to leave emotional wreckage in his wake. One moment, he's dismantling systemic narratives. The next, he's comparing Caitlin Clark's jump shot to Beyoncé at Coachella. And somehow, it just worked. And just when you thought his fiery rant had reached its peak, here comes the real plot twist. Caitlin Clark is just out here dribbling a basketball, minding her own business, yet managing to dominate the conversation and live rent-free in the heads of half the WNBA. No security deposit, no utilities, just as if she didn't just show up to play. She arrived to awaken every dormant ego within a 20-mile radius. Caitlin Clark is averaging over 20 points per game, drawing thousands of new viewers and commanding headlines that could have been a boon for a league desperately begging the world to care. Yet some veteran WNBA players' reactions have been more, who does this girl think she is, than welcome to the league. It's given Mean Girls locker room drama. Caitlin, the new transfer student everyone suddenly resents because her hustle outshines theirs, and she doesn't need a ring light to shine.
Angel Reese is obviously and clearly taking too much heat because I believe a lot of people are using this situation as a cover for their innate vitriol and maybe their innate kind of racism or racial tension or racial misunderstanding. And now that they have been given a reason, at least the reason that they're going to try to take, which is Angel Reese reacting to Caitlin Clark's foul, now this is their opportunity to say what they always wanted to say, but they needed a mask put on to cover up the innate, whether it's racism or the innate prejudice or just the innate hate that they have for Angel Reese and the way in which she carries herself. That's my issue with all of this.
Let's call it like it is. Caitlin Clark has the it factor, that electrifying combination of Steph Curry's shooting range, Midwestern humility, and a jump shot that makes defenders look like they're chasing a ghost. But because she is, and because she's capturing attention the league has never seen before, suddenly we're flooded with think pieces, awkward tweets, and shady post-game interviews where veteran players act like Caitlin's highlight reels are just a mild weather forecast. No, that was an earthquake, and their ankles are still somewhere in Section C. We understand the league has been fighting for years for recognition, fair pay, and airtime. Legends like Cheryl Swoops, Lisa Leslie, and Tamika Catchings built this league from the ground up with their own sweat and Gatorade commercials. But Caitlin didn't bulldoze that legacy. She expanded it, added a new wing, a marble kitchen, and a media room. Instead of celebrating her impact, some players act like she's squatting in their crawl space. Let's be honest, this is internalized racism in full effect. So sneaky, sometimes even the perpetrators don't realize it. What we're seeing isn't just criticism, it's resentment. And it reveals a deeper issue about race, respect, and recognition in women's basketball.
First of all, the WNBA has been increasing in revenue way before Caitlin Clark was even thought of. Also, there have been a lot of women in this industry and in the WNBA specifically who have been fighting and advocating for changes in the league way before Caitlin Clark even stepped foot in it. Yes, jealousy is a natural reaction and it's a natural emotion and it exists whether people want to own up to it or not. And are there people across both male and female who may have animosity towards Caitlin Clark for the attention and the awareness and the pedestal that she has been put on? Sure. To lump all women together just further perpetuates this narrative that women are unable to be happy for other women. And as a woman, I find that insulting because one thing
How dare this young white girl walk into the league, secure endorsements, get ESPN coverage, and fill stadiums like it's a Taylor Swift concert? Never mind that those same fans are now buying her jerseys, tuning into her games, and tweeting about her buzzer readers like it's the Super Bowl. It's honestly sad, not in a dramatic violin-playing way, but in a self-defeating, shoot-yourself-in-the-foot kind of way. The WNBA should be rolling out the red carpet for Caitlin Clark as if she's Oprah handing out private jets. You get a salary bump and you get a sneaker deal. Instead, there's a whole side-eye culture and cold shoulders during warm-ups, like we're watching a reality show called Basketball, but bitterness. And don't even get me started on the private jet debates. These players who fought for better travel conditions, less 6-hour layovers, flying first class, now have the golden goose right in front of them. Instead of embracing her impact, some are quick to dismiss her, revealing a deeper resistance rooted in jealousy and internalized bias. Caitlin's success isn't just about her talent. It's shining a light on the league's ongoing struggles with race, recognition, and progress.
Caitlin, when your head coach came out with a statement today saying she denounces all the racism that some people have felt in this league, players, trolls online, all those things, as one of the biggest stars in this league, what are your thoughts on the things not only your teammates have to endure, but just the entire league? And obviously, you spoke on this before, but just now your coach and your GM are talking about it as well.
Yeah, it's definitely upsetting. I don't think nobody in our league should be facing any sort of racism, hurtful, disrespectful, hateful comments and threats. Those aren't fans, those are trolls, and it's a real disservice to the people in our league, the organization, the WNBA. But there are a lot of really good fans, whether they've been fans for 20 plus years or whether they're new fans in our league.
When Caitlin Clark steps onto the court, suddenly the WNBA is experiencing record-breaking attendance, soaring viewership numbers, and real, tangible money flowing into the league, like actual dollars changing hands. It's as if capitalism itself has entered the locker room saying, "Hi, I'm here to help," and some players are responding with attitude, acting like it's a practice drill rather than a moment of growth. Caitlin didn't create her fame in a lab or demand to be the league's face. She simply kept her head down and stacked points like building blocks. It's like she walked into a burning building with a hose, and instead of appreciating the help, people are mad because her hose has better water pressure. The shade being thrown isn't just about her being new. It's because her presence exposes uncomfortable truths. She's shining a mirror on the league's missed opportunities, revealing that some players and fans have long relied on marketable personalities, media training, and flashy skills, like a three-point shot that clangs like a trash can lid, rather than genuine talent and hard work.
Angel Reese was drafted number 8 in the same draft as Caitlin Clark, who was number 1. You don't think Angel Reese thought she should have been number 1 in the draft?
Oh, definitely.
That's something to be jealous of right there.
Oh, okay,
Now,
okay.
Let's be clear. That's not a bad thing. Steph Curry was drafted number 8 or number 7 in the draft.
Yeah.
That Blake Griffin was drafted number 1.
Oh, yeah.
Blake Griffin won Rookie of the Year, Slam Dunk Contest, everything. Curry just stayed in his bag, and then eventually his time came, and now he's the greatest from his class. Yeah. So it could be that. It could just be, I hate that the crowd likes you. It could be, I hate that they love you and they don't love me. It's so many reasons, but it's real. That's what I want people to know. It is real.
And here's the real kicker. Caitlin Clark isn't out here hoarding fame like it's some kind of treasure. She's signing autographs, uplifting her teammates, and taking every media jab with more grace than many of those throwing it. She's the girl who shows up with cupcakes at practice, yet still gets side-eyed like she's poisoned the frosting. Envy is a powerful drug, and in this case, it's laced with a dash of colorism, a sprinkle of gatekeeping, and a heavy dose of why her and not me? The answer is simple, because of her. Because she draws eyes. The pettiness is almost on display. Fans crave authenticity, not passive-aggressive shade disguised as constructive criticism. Caitlin Clark symbolizes a future where WNBA players ride in private jets, get paid what they deserve, and don't have to share hotel rooms like they're on a school trip. But for that future to happen, the league needs to stop treating her like the problem and start recognizing her as the prize. Otherwise, they're just feeding into the narrative that the WNBA can't handle success that doesn't fit the expected mold.
This is only women that get this.
I'm tired of it. Like, here's my thing, you guys. What else? Who are these girls? Who are these girls that are hating on Caitlin Clark? Are you just combing through Twitter? What else are these women supposed to do? Fawn over her? Fangirl over her? Bend the fucking knee? Kiss the ring? Like, what do you want from them? We cannot, every time the girl plays a game, she got 40 games, guys. She got 35 more games. We are not, every single game, gonna revisit and retread this same tired-ass rhetoric that all these girls are hating on her, and they need to be thankful. They have been.
And honestly, that's not on Caitlin. That's on y'all. When a new player enters the league and brings the kind of attention the sport has been craving, attention that could help grow the game, your reaction shouldn't be icy silence or petty comments in post-game interviews. Instead, you should be celebrating, lifting her up, recognizing that she's a catalyst for the league's progress. Right now, some players are acting like her success is a threat instead of an opportunity. It's like being mad at the pizza delivery guy for bringing food, but not thanking him for the service. Here's a radical idea. Instead of resisting her rise, embrace it, celebrate her achievements, recognize the power she wields, and use it to grow the sport. Because when Caitlin Clark wins, the whole league wins. That's how visibility leads to sponsorships, growth, and finally, the league everyone says they want. Until then, she's still living rent-free in your heads. And with her talent, she's about to renovate the entire space. If you enjoyed leaving a like and subscribing, more videos are on the screen now.